that's not right.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to whistle. I can't whistle yet, but I really, really want to try because I hear other people being able to do it and it's so cool. So I'm just going to keep on trying. So bear with. No. Ham. It's got to be.
Welcome to JRev.
Oh, almost. Hang on. Try this.
Hey, you did it!
I know! I kept trying and I spat everywhere, but I did it! I can whistle, JRev! Welcome back, by the way!
Well done to you. Congratulations.
Thank you!
Well, in case you hadn't guessed, today we're talking about persistence.
Ooh,
And
yes!
trying until we can do the thing that we really wanted to do.
Yeah, like I just did with whistling. Now, there's a bit of a difference between persistence and resilience that we learnt last week, isn't there?
There is.
So, from what I understand, persistence means that we maybe don't have as many obstacles in our way of learning the new thing. It's just that we have to keep trying until we get it right.
Yeah, it's our choice to not give up.
Yeah, so maybe what have you been doing that you've had to persist in until you got better at it?
Well, when I was younger, I mean, I still do it now. I can play the piano, but that didn't just happen overnight.
It didn't?
No, I used to have to practice. And I used to do these things called exams.
Yes.
So I would have to learn about 4 or 5 different pieces that I would have to play in front of an examiner.
Did you say pizzas?
No, pieces.
Oh, pieces of pizza.
No,
I don't know how this links to
music,
Oh,
songs
okay.
to play on the piano.
Right, I'm following you. Yes.
And I would have to practice them until they were perfect, like completely error-free.
Wow, that sounds really tricky, but it sounds like you kept on going and you made it happen.
Yeah, and there were plenty of times where I wanted to give up, and actually I had more than a few tantrums about it, and I would storm out of the room and say, I don't ever want to do this ever again. And then I'd have a bit of a chat with myself, and often my mum or my dad or my grandma, whoever was around at the time, would say, come on, you can do this. You chose that this was what you were going to do, and I'd make myself do it.
Well, come on, you chose this. Let me hear you on the piano. Let's go.
We don't have a piano here.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just pretend. Over here, okay.
Hello, so today we're going to be making a door hanger for your door of your bedroom. Here's all the stuff you need. You need some cardboard, you need some textures, and you need a pair of scissors that are sharp enough to cut through your cardboard. So the first thing that you need to do is to draw an outline of what you want your door hanger to look like. Now you obviously need to create almost like a hook shape so that it will actually connect onto your door handle. So think about the shape of your door handle and make sure that you draw something that can kind of slip over the top of it, almost looking a little bit like a wave. So what I've drawn here probably isn't going to be quite big enough, so when I go to cut it, I might have to cut it to be a little bit bigger. Now, I've used some fairly thick cardboard, so if you're like me and you're using some thick cardboard, make sure that you ask a grown-up to help you because this part can be a little bit tricky. See how I've made a little bit of extra space for my door hanger to go around my door handle? Just make sure that you're leaving enough space so that this thing can actually fit over the handle. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. Then you can kind of just change the shapes. You might want to add some more texture to it. You might want to chop out some parts on the sides. You might want to add a pattern to the bottoms. Totally up to you. Okay, now on to the fun part. So grab your textures and start thinking about what types of things you would like to say or communicate on your door hanger. So for me, I'm going to make sure that I write Sarah's room, because obviously it's my room and I want to make sure everyone who comes to my house knows it. So I've written Sarah's room, and you might want to include like some instructions for people when they see your door hanger. So maybe you want to do some kind of a do not disturb or please keep out. It just totally depends on kind of what you're feeling, what you're thinking. So obviously I've decided to write, please keep out. It's important to use our manners, but seriously, please stay out of my room. Okay, what else do I want to say? Oh, very important. Unless you're Manny, then of course you can come into my room. And he doesn't need permission. That's fine. He's always welcome. So add all of your messages, and then you're on to the really fun part, which is decorating. So go nuts and decorate it as much as you like. Here we go. So you might want to decorate your door hanger with stuff that you like. So I like rainbows, so I've decided to put a rainbow on mine. Maybe you like basketball or soccer. You could draw that onto your door hanger. Maybe you like music, or you like reading, or you like food. Maybe you want to draw a picture of some nuggets. Maybe you want to draw favorite sports team's logo. It's totally up to you. Just make it look really unique and special, just like you are. And there you have it, your very own door hanger, ready for you to put on your bedroom and claim it as your own. So go for it, give it a go, and see what yours turns out like. Here's mine going on my door right now. See ya!
Welcome back, JRev.
Hey, Sarah. I remember when you were talking about learning piano,
Yes.
and how you had to really persist.
Yes.
I had to really persist at something as well.
What's that?
Drawing.
I thought you were going to say performing poor jokes.
Look, I perfected that, and it came very naturally, don't you worry. Yeah, I'm pretty good at telling a bad joke. But drawing is something that I kind of naturally fell into, but also I had to learn about how the human body works, and I'm not even a doctor. I had to learn how to draw things on the right angles, and I'm not even an architect. You know, I had to do all of these really tricky things and commit them to memory and get all the muscle memory happening so that I could become a really good drawer.
Sounds very complicated.
Very complicated, but I'm glad that I did it because it means that I can do it for my work now.
Sure.
Hey, JRev, have you been doing anything that maybe doesn't come naturally to you? Have you started something and have you been perfecting your skills at it? I'd love to find out. Sarah, how can we find that out?
Well, they could send it into the JRev letterbox.
Oh, I love the letterbox. This is my favourite part.
Now, I've got some inside scoop.
Ooh, like
on
ice
my
cream?
home. No, information.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
I know that we've got some JRevers who are gymnasts.
What?
Who can do things like cartwheels.
Hang on, I can't even do that.
I know, but they didn't just do that overnight. Like,
No.
they've been practicing.
That would be impressive, but...
I know that we've got some brilliant readers and some brilliant storytellers, and they didn't just develop that skill overnight.
Oh, because they didn't just know how to do it already, they had to practice.
I know we've got some really good engineers and problem solvers and scientists who do things like make really cool things with Lego, or they understand how experiments work. We've got lots of those skills in our JRevers at home, and again, they didn't just learn it overnight.
Well, if you're particularly proud of something that you've been working really hard on, we would love to show it on the show. So if you can get a grown-up's help to send it into this address, maybe we can show it here.
Do it!
Hey, Chris. Yeah, you.
Yes, disembodied voice who sounds awfully familiar and also hilarious.
Do you have any fears?
No, I am fearless.
You don't have any fears?
No,
Alright, well, what about monsters? Sometimes people are afraid of monsters. Are you afraid of monsters?
Monsters, schmonsters.
Okay, what about spiders? Spiders are really scary.
That's a shoe.
Sorry, wrong picture. Spiders. Here's a spider. Are you scared of that?
Oh, then no, they're fine.
Okay, what about heights? Some people are afraid of heights.
Vertigo? More like verti-no.
Okay, loud noises. Are you scared of loud noises?
Such as?
Bang, crash, wallop, boom.
Yeah, no, they're okay.
Oh, okay, ghosts, werewolves, skeletons, any of those kind of make you scared?
Sounds like a pretty good party.
Okay, what about the dark? Surely you're afraid of the dark.
Alright, first up. Quit playing with my light switches and don't call me Shirley.
Okay, how about some irrational fears? Do you have any of those? Like things that don't really make much sense? You would be terrified if you ate nothing but dinosaur pasta with broccoli for every meal for a year, and then you woke up half dinosaur, half broccoli, and you'd have a stegosaurus butt and tail and legs, but broccoli for a head, and people would want to take photos of you, and then giraffes would try and eat you, and you wouldn't have any way to get away from them.
Have you ever had to work really hard at something? Maybe you had a really tricky spelling word that you just couldn't nail, or maybe it was like a really tight drink bottle that just took forever to come undone and you kept working on it and working on it. Sometimes things in life require us to be persistent. Persistence basically means just not giving up, trying again and again and again until you can do the thing that you want to be able to do. You know what though? Persistence isn't easy. This is another one of those times where I tell you guys that I think kids are way better than grown-ups at this stuff because you guys have to be persistent all the time. Think about it for a second. It's not like when you were born you knew how to walk or talk or read or do maths or dress yourself or literally do anything for yourself. And guess how you learnt to do that stuff? By trying and failing, then trying, then failing, then trying, then failing, then eventually getting it right. It's a bit like if you've gone to a friend's house and you knock on their door and they don't answer. You're probably not going to just go, oh well, I guess I'll come back on a different day. If you know that they're home, what are you going to do? You're going to keep knocking. Because you know that the end result is that you and your friend are going to get to hang out together and play together, which is awesome. And if you just knocked once and then went, oh well, then you've just given up any hope of having a super fun day. Boring. Do you know that in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, in chapter 7, Jesus tells us a story about knocking? Jesus was talking to a group of people and he told them, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened. I wonder what door he was talking about. I don't think Jesus had a door. Jesus was talking to us about having eternal life, knowing God and being friends with him forever. And Jesus was telling people that that's actually something that God wants to be able to give us. And he wants us to ask for it. Jesus told the group of people who were listening that God's a really good father and he loves to give good things to his kids. And then he used the example of like, if your son wanted a piece of bread, would you give him a stone? No. But here's the catch, JRev, because if you have a dad that you think is good, or you know a dad that you think is good, they probably don't give their kids what they want all the time because sometimes it's not good for them. Like imagine if every dad gave their kid ice cream whenever they said, Dad, I want ice cream. That kid is going to get a very sore tummy very, very quickly. Even if the kid is like, but Dad, I really want the ice cream. Please, can I have it? There's no way that the dad, a good dad, is going to give that to his kid every time that they want because it's not a healthy choice. However, do you know what? If the kid is thirsty and the good dad has access to clean drinking water, I'm sure that the dad would give the kid the water because he knows it's what he needs. God wants us to be persistent in talking to him about the things that we really need help with. He doesn't want us to quit. He doesn't want us to stop asking him. He loves hearing from you about what you need. Just don't forget that he's like a really good dad, like the best dad that's ever existed, like forever. And that means that you're probably not going to get a brand new PlayStation every time you want one.
God will help you with what you need, but not always in the time that you want. And there is an enormous difference between what we want and what we need. We've been talking a lot about having courage in the last couple of weeks, and here at JRev we know that sometimes it takes a lot of courage to persist and to be persistent, to keep trying and asking for help when you feel like you've done it lots of times before. But if you don't remember anything else from today, we really want you to remember this. Be persistent. Ask God for what you need, because He's a loving Father who cares for you. So keep knocking. How do we knock? Like, do you guys know where Jesus' door is? Don't be ridiculous. We don't need His door. We just need to talk to Him. So let's do that. Dear Jesus, we thank you that we can ask you for anything that we need and that you love helping us because you're a loving Father who cares for us. So help us to remember to ask you for the things that we need and to keep asking you. Amen. Today's memory verse is from Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you. Let's do it one more time. Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you.
Hey, blah blah.
No.
Hey, JRev, it's time for the
You're really struggling with that this week, aren't you?
I know, but I'm going to keep trying.
All
Hey,
right.
JRev, it's time for the weekly challenge.
Oh, you did it.
Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm done now. See ya.
No, you're not done.
What?
You haven't even said what the challenge is.
Oh, of course, the most important part. Actually,
Yeah, do it.
this week is all about don't give up.
Tell me what to do.
Oh, okay. But now I'm really conflicted.
Oh.
Can I tell the JRevers what the challenge is?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so the challenge is for you to pick something that you have never tried before.
Something brand new.
Something absolutely brand spanking new. Maybe it's learning a new language.
Oh, maybe it's learning a new instrument.
Maybe it's learning a new recipe to cook.
Maybe it's learning a new set of your times tables.
It could be any of those things that you don't know how to do naturally, and I want you to write it down, and I want you to work out, okay, this is the time that I'm going to do it. I'm going to practice it on this time, and every day try and do it at least once.
Maybe you're a person who likes to do sprints and you want to try and sprint from one side of your backyard to the other in the shortest amount of time.
That's a great idea. Maybe you want to learn a new song, like singing, but you don't know the words and you have to learn them.
Maybe you have a favourite board game or card game that you like to verse people that you live with or your friends, and maybe you don't win very often, so maybe your goal is you're going to try and beat everybody.
Yeah. So when you're being persistent, it's like working out a muscle in your brain and your real muscles as well, because like Sarah said, you might be sprinting and stuff, and that is showing God that you are going to try new things and that you can be used for new things. So
And don't forget, when we're doing these brave and courageous things of trying new things and being persistent, God's always with us.
Yeah.
He helps us.
you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah, so don't give up. I'm going to go and write down what I'm going to do. I need to get it in the diary. So we'll see you next time, JRev. Bye. So this time, I think I'm going to learn how to speak Hungarian, but with a slightly Slavic accent.